Hi everyone, here's what's bothering me today. Have you ever really sat down and thought about or realized the fact that you have more in common, whether you're a city slicker or a good old country boy? You have more in common with each other than you ever will with your ruling political or capitalist elite. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out for a hot second. In terms of your average daily struggle of working, feeling exhausted, trying to provide for your family, having enough food on the table, making rent payments, home payments, car payments, taking your mind off the drudgery of capitalism in your job with some kind of vice, coffee, alcohol, guns, drugs, food, whatever it might be, right? Tell me, do you have more in common with, if you're an American, one of your senators making comfortable six-figure salaries and having nearly a third of the year in vacation time and government paid high quality, top of the line quality health insurance? Or do you have more in common with Gomer living in Amarillo, Texas? Do you have more in common with Fudd living in Knoxville, Tennessee? You have more in common with your average working farmer, truck driver, rural country bumpkin than you ever will with a Fortune 500 CEO or a politician. And there's this notion, unfortunately, that, because of the different parties that people in the city and people in the country tend to support, that there's this massive gulf between them. And on social issues, yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, if you want to talk about working class issues, there's a lot of overlap. Older people and people in the country will talk about how they miss the days when communities used to take care of each other. What caused that change? It wasn't actually a lot of the new social policies. It was capitalism ruining communities and killing off rural main streets because, well, look, a big box store is so much more efficient. And governments, whether they were liberal or conservative, passed that legislation that affected country people. If you're a city person and you want to blame country people for continuing to vote in conservative or Republican leaders, let's not forget that in your own cities, whether they're run by liberals, Democrats, Labor Party, etc., these are still places that are funding the police more, cutting services, cutting, property taxes, all these other things, and they're still not passing legislation that makes life more affordable. Either side of the neoliberal political coin is not your friend. And, I've worked in a bunch of different, what you would call blue collar jobs. I even went to college to study for a blue collar profession. And here's the thing that I learned from a lot of the people who were there, be they from the city or small, absolutely rural towns, or, bedroom suburb communities that are basically like country places. There's a lot of differences between all of us, but we all agree that the current state of things that capitalism has provided and that the political parties show actually really fucking sucks. That's really all you need to start anywhere for a mass movement. System's broken, capitalism sucks, billionaires shouldn't exist, people need help. These are four things that have great overlap between city people and country people. And if you find ways of showing them a new side of things or a new perspective, even better. But it's only possible by actually learning how to talk to people and spending time with them and learning about their struggles and having some empathy with your common man. But really, again, at the end of the day, it's just more important to remember that the whole system that we currently have is bad for all of us, or at least the vast majority of us. It's not bad for the top 1% or 10%, possibly even 15 to 25%. But for the vast majority of your average Canadian, American, Mexican, Brit, Brazilian, South African, Australian, Japanese person, the struggle of the working class, whether you are in a city or out in the country, the struggles are nearly identical. And the problems that cause those struggles could all be solved by both of us mutually. And it's high time we recognize that. But the fact that we don't is definitely what's bothering me today.